Hey buddies! Okay, so we're back in my kitchen and we're making super yummy and delicious and easy 3-ingredient mango ice cream. And I'm gonna give you guys a little preview of what we're gonna cover, because I'm gonna show you obviously how to make it so you can see like it is legit very, very easy. Right, so what's the problem is that like summer's coming, we all love ice cream. I do. I'm assuming that you all do too. But what we don't love is like that yucky hangover, like sugar hangover we get afterwards that doesn't feel so yummy and doesn't feel so good. Hey, say hi. Say hi so I see who you are. Hey, Kayla. We don't love that it's like usually full of really yucky, bad ingredients because those things definitely don't help us feel well or be well, or any of the things that we want in life are not met with ingesting yucky ingredients that you can't pronounce. So, you know, often if you pick up like a regular ice cream at the store, you're going to see things like you have no idea how to pronounce. And so that means that like it's not serving you well. And also if you like to do the non-dairy versions, and often like they taste kind of like plastic. Like some of the higher quality ones are okay, but a lot of them are like kind of nasty tasting. So that's something we want to avoid. Even better than that, or I'd say secondary or another element, is that, I have notes, that's why you see me looking at them, is that this ice cream that we're going to make, it actually boosts your immune system. And that's because mangoes have a huge amount of vitamin C, which is one of the reasons that you crave them. Oops, I pressed something. How do I do it? How do I go back? Okay, it's gone. So mangoes have a lot of vitamin C and they're super delicious, and it's one of the reasons that we crave them is they really do help boost our immune system. So that's really awesome. You can kind of go at it guilt-free, which is very, very different than like a store-bought version where they're definitely adding a ton of added sugar, which suppresses your immune system. This one also has, I'll tell you, really good fats in it because we're using coconut cream, and coconut is a really good quality fat. It's a short chain fatty acid, which means that essentially it's the kind of fat that gives you energy right away and helps you feel full, as opposed to just like sitting on your hips or anywhere else you don't want to do. Also, it won't cause heart disease. It won't do any of the things that we're concerned about. Hey, Dvora. Because it's a good fat, right? Bad fats will cause problems, but good fats we need, and they help us feel full. They make us happy, and they balance our mood. And so that's like a lot to ask from an ice cream, but this one really can do it. So that's exciting. And another thing that's really cool is because mangoes, fresh mangoes or frozen, either are fine, they actually have a lot of fiber in them. Hey. Yeah, I love when you guys comment away. So oftentimes, like when we think of like, oh, fiber is good for my digestion, it's good for regularity, like most of us usually think of like carbohydrates, like, oh, I need to be eating more fiber. We think of like whole grains, right? But the truth is that a lot of whole grains are a good, sorry, I'm so shaky. A lot of whole grains are a good source of fiber, but a lot of people don't do well on a lot of whole grains. Like they do well on some, but not others, or they do well if they have a little bit, but not too much. Obviously there are exceptions. There's people who do well with more. But a lot of people, if you're trying to up your fiber intake, which helps with regularity, right? Which is a fancy, I don't know, fancy, which is maybe a less laughable way to say like that you poop regularly. Someone popped off when I said that. That's funny. Okay. Then fiber for mangoes have a lot of fiber too, so that's cool. And maybe the last bit, we'll make it, and then I'll tell you guys about the connection between pleasure and weight loss. Kayla, are you allowed to have this? That is a good question. Let's talk about that privately. This is definitely better than any other ice cream, and we can talk about like when and how much and what would be, you know, beneficial for you versus less beneficial. But it's definitely not like a toxic thing, so that's good. Yeah, so at the end of it, I'll tell you guys, I'll talk a little bit about also the connection between pleasure in our life and weight loss, because don't be fooled, it's actually very, very important. And here comes my family to distract me, so hopefully I keep it together. I usually can't when they're around. I don't know if it's because I'm like an empath or just a people person that when other people, see that's my notes, when other people are around, it's very hard for me to focus. Okay, and my water, we don't need that either. Okay, here we go. Here's my blender. See, right there, okay. You don't need a fancy blender. Any blender will do. This one is like medium fancy because my husband's actually a director. Wow, guys, we're getting some views. Awesome. I'm so happy you're here. Okay. Anyone, if you're on, say hi, say where you're from, ask me questions. I'm so happy you're here. Anyways, this is like a medium blender. I think was probably around 150, but I didn't buy it. Before this, I had just like a $30 one from Target. If you have a Vitamix, awesome. But if you have a $30 one from Target, you can still make this. My husband makes commercials, and some of the commercials he makes are, he does a lot of like products. He has like a company especially for product commercials, like for Amazon and stuff. And so oftentimes when he does them, then they're just like, keep the product. So this was one such, I guess you could call it swag. Anyway, so that's why I have a fancier one now. But the point of me sharing that with you, other than the fact I know you're like terribly interested in like the minutiae of my life, that was a joke, is just because, I'm just saying it doesn't matter. You don't need to have a fancy one. Okay, so here's my organic frozen mango. Can you use fresh? Yes, but then you have to cut it, and then you really should freeze it before you make it, so it's more annoying. So make your life easier and buy it frozen. You can get this awesome huge bag at Costco. Any of you who, hey Devorah, you're from Muncie. Awesome. So happy that you're on. I don't know if I've ever even been to Muncie, is the truth. But I used to live in New York. Anyways, I got anyone who like is friends with me or follows me on my personal page saw that I went to Costco the other day and I was like, this is more dangerous than Target. They have so much like good organic stuff, especially frozen. And as you know, or as you are learning, I'm a big fan of frozen. So you can see I'm not really measuring, but when I post this right after all, what's it called? I will give you the actual measurements. But when I make it, I don't do it. I just can't be bothered. Okay, here we go. That looks pretty good to me. Then we have our organic coconut cream. This is the best. I know it's backwards for you, sorry, but it's organic coconut cream from Trader Joe's. It's the best deal that I've found, but I just splashed mango juice on my shirt. My neck, I mean. The other really good one that I like a lot is Native Forest. I'll put the link for you. I can get you the Amazon link after if you want. Anyway, so you shake it up, and it's definitely better. Yeah, it is yum. Okay, it's definitely better that you get the cream and not just like the milk. Get like the whole fat. I forgot to turn my what's it called, my notifications off when I'm like seeing emails. It's a little distracting, but that's okay. That's life. Anyways, get the whole fat. Get the highest fat that you possibly can. Okay, here we go. And now I'm just gonna pour the whole can in. Whee! There it goes. I'm probably gonna need to add more mango so that it's not so liquidy, but that's okay. Hold on, I'm just gonna wash my hands for a sec. And then, now I'll tell you the truth. The recipe that I like to use, like this recipe I'm telling you that I'm giving you, uses arrowroot powder, but I am all out, it turns out. So I'm gonna use coconut flour, which I don't particularly recommend, to be honest. Like you could in a pinch. But arrowroot flour, what it does essentially is that when you blend it up and then stick it in the freezer, like if you eat it right away, then like it doesn't matter either way. But if you want to stick it in the freezer to have later, then having the arrowroot flour really helps it not get super hard. Like I don't know if you've ever tried to make ice cream yourself and you just put it in the freezer and then when you take it out later, it's like a rock and you literally cannot get into it. So if you add the arrowroot powder, I have to say that really carefully. It really helps with that. And so if you don't have arrowroot, you can order, again, I'll put the link also for Amazon on there. You can use coconut flour. You could probably even use almond flour, but the coconut and the almond flour will leave more of a flavor. It kind of tastes a little like floury in there versus the arrowroot, you don't notice it at all. It's like much finer. It's a much finer brown thing. I'm assuming that's why. Anyways, but of course you know me, I don't measure anything. Except for salad dressing. So I'm just like pouring it in because I'm not going to eat this all now. This is going to be like an exciting thing for my kids to find when they come home from school, in addition to myself. Okay, so it's going to get loud for a second. Ready? Put the top on. And now we're over here. Oh, wait a second. Take off that one. Okay. Here we go. Come on. It's going to be loud. Get ready. Hope it doesn't scream at me. Can you see the color of it? I really want it to be darker. Now you could leave it like this. You see? You could leave it like this, but I'm gonna try it. Good. But it'll be yummier with more mango. So again, I gave you guys real measurements, but like, you know, like it also depends on like, is your mango really ripe, or maybe like your batch wasn't so ripe and then it needs more. So you can kind of just do this, you know, like just add more and taste it. So yeah, I have this fancy thing that sticks in, but if you don't, then just like take the top off with a spoon and smash it down and then turn it back on like that. So there you go. Okay, we're turning it back on. Phase 2. I think it's good now. Hey, Valerie! I feel like I yelled that really loud. I guess because the blender was just on. Okay, this looks like a better color to me, right? It's like a little more yellow. I'll try it again. Yeah. It's more mango-y now. The truth is, I might even add more. Because the coconut gives it the creaminess. Don't worry, if I was serving this to you, I wouldn't put my same like licked finger back in. It's just in my house. We're really not germaphobes, so we don't really care about that. Anyways, you know what? I may just add it a little more one more time. Bear with me. Hey, what are we making? Oh, good question, Val. We're making 3-ingredient mango ice cream. And it's super yummy. And I just keep adding more mango because I like it with more mango. Also, you know what's funny? I think it's also like a color thing. I think I want to see it like be more yellow than this. Okay, here we go. Done now. That's it. Here we go. So it's really nice and thick. Should I put some in a little fancy bowl to make it look nice? Hold on, I dropped something. Okay, hold on, let me show you. Okay. It's a nice little bowl, right? A little square bowl. I think I bought it for before I realized that I could just like go live and teach you guys awesome stuff, I thought I had to do like a whole fancy thing. Because my husband, like I said, makes these awesome commercials for people. So in my head, I was like, oh, I want to make really awesome commercials. But they take a long time to make. And of course, my husband's like a professional, so he wants them to come out looking really good, as opposed to like, I'm not bagging on this, but you know what I'm saying. This is a far from a professional commercial type thing. Anyway, so I did shoot one of them, and I'll actually offer it to you guys soon. It's a really cool one. It's what was the one that I made? Oh, it was like a week's worth of breakfast that you can make in like 60 seconds or something. Something really useful. Because I was like, that is really helpful for people. Anyways, so see, doesn't that look yummy? So then, all right, you could eat it now. Ooh, you could put a little thing in it to make it pretty if you want. And then whatever you don't eat now, I just put into like, do I have anything here that I can show you? Whatever. you've seen Tupperware before. It's not an exciting thing. Anyways, but I have a bigger one. So I would put it in like a glass one to cover it. If you don't cover it, it's gonna like start tasting like the freezer and be nasty. But if you do cover it, then it can last a long time. And then it's really exciting because we added the arrowroot powder that we really used coconut flour today, but I don't recommend that because you can kind of taste it. Like my family's fine with it, but you're going to be like, ew, Shayna, why did you make this ice cream? Why did you tell me to make this that tastes like flour? Like if you take it out of the freezer and you let it like relax, if you let it warm up a little bit, then you'll actually be able to like serve it and it'll like kind of even look like real ice cream, which I think is kind of exciting. If not, then you can just like kind of hack away at it, which I don't know, I think it's a personality type, but I get like an odd satisfaction out of that, like hacking away at the ice cream and getting like little chips out. I actually know people that intentionally like leave their freezer really, really cold so that they like won't let themselves eat an exorbitant amount of ice cream because like it's too hard. But anyways, you don't really have to worry about overdoing it on this because this is actually really good for you. And the last part that I told you I would say at the end, and I think is like one of the coolest parts, is about the connection between pleasure and weight loss, right? Like why, right? It's not, I'm not just teaching about ice cream because I like it, even though I do like it. I'm also because I really believe, so to speak, and I know that sounds funny, I really believe in having ice cream and having treats and having pleasure in your life. Because essentially what happens is that your emotional state is one of the biggest things that you can do to change your metabolism. And so just to like elaborate on that a little bit, which I think is really fascinating, is like people that have multiple personalities disorder, when they have different personalities, they have different metabolisms. They even have studies that show that people with multiple personalities disorder, one of the personalities can be diabetic and the other one will not be. So I know it's fascinating and crazy making, right? You're like, what? That's impossible. It seems impossible because they have the same body. But the point that I'm bringing that up in is that the way that you feel and the way that you think and your identity, so to speak, plays a profound effect in your health and in the way that your body metabolizes things, right? So I'm very, very pro people having pleasure and joy in their life and from all kinds of things. So, I think that going for a run outside, like in the sun or the shade, where you see beautiful things is like pretty much incomparably more valuable than like kind of feeling depressed while you like force yourself to run on the treadmill at the gym. If you enjoy the gym and you have like awesome music and it's like a fun experience for you, then that's different. But when you go into it with the mindset of like you're forcing yourself and you kind of maybe you're punishing yourself because you're mad about something like the bad ice cream you had, right? Or something ridiculous. I don't think that that's really helping you. And that's a big part of why so many people will struggle with weight loss is because they're fighting with themselves instead of working with yourself, right? We want to like be on the same team, and our body is always trying to do the right things by us and is always trying to heal and always trying to be healthy. And we want to partner with that effort and not fight with it, right? Not go head to head. So I think that's really amazing. And I thought you guys might find that interesting too. And so, there's the weight loss way, so to speak, and not just weight loss, immune boosting. It's not just weight loss. It's really health across the board of the more aligned you feel as a person and the healthier you feel as a person and the happier and more, again, the big word, especially for women, is pleasurable, because in our culture, we're not taught to value pleasure as women, right? We're taught to like work hard and like smile and look good and make it look easy, whatever you're doing. But it's seen kind of as like gauche and like, what's the word? Like, just like overdone, unnecessary, not whatever it is. It's not considered valuable for a woman to like take care of herself, in what gives you pleasure. Like, honestly, I'll ask a lot of my clients, like, what do you do for joy? What brings you joy? And other than like chocolate and ice cream, like, it's very often hard for people to identify it. But my male clients have much less of an issue. Like, oh, I play video games, I play basketball with my friends, I read sci-fi books, they know what they like. And a lot of women, of course I'm generalizing, but I am generalizing. And I hope that you're the exception. And if you're not, then I hope that you join me in becoming the exception. and that we eventually are not the exception, but we become the norm, of knowing what brings you joy and what brings you pleasure and intentionally bringing that into your life. Because number one, you deserve it, right? Like, you don't have to earn that. Even if there were no other benefits, I would still hope that you would do that. Because I think that it is a sound and healthy and valuable way to live by giving yourself what you desire. That is beneficial for everyone. But also that it's good across the board. It's good for everything. So enjoy. Oh, what was I going to say? The last piece of it is that, so when you have the ice cream, right, you digest it so much better and you'll taste it so much more and you'll get more joy from it if you actually try to enjoy it. So like if you shovel it in, like as you're like, you know, like post whatever, scrolling, that's what I'm trying to do, scrolling on Facebook or like watching Netflix or any other thing you do to zone out, you'll probably like go through a lot of it before you even taste it. Versus if you like try to like sit and enjoy, and I'm not saying you can't eat a ridiculous amount while you scroll, because who am I to judge? But if you sit down and you actually try to just enjoy it and taste what it's like, I think it's such a valuable exercise to practice leaning back into, as opposed to leaning in, like leaning back into the pleasures in your life, and let yourself really enjoy it and kind of go with that instead of like, ooh, sneak it in, sneak a bite here, sneak a bite there. And like the way that you're going to metabolize it and the benefits that you're going to get from it are so much more profound and far reaching when you really allow yourself to be there and appreciate what's actually in front of you. So of course I'd say, oh, I love you guys too. I think that those principles across the board probably work in every area of life. Like the more present you are and the more you appreciate and let yourself enjoy what's actually happening, the more that you'll actually be able to internalize it, and benefit from it. But it take, what does it say? It 100%, 200%, 1000%. I'm a math major, can you tell? Speaking of that, actually my husband's cousin, just got her PhD in math, so that's really exciting. Mazel tov to her. And she has like 5 or 6 kids, like, but you know what? Something I learned from her, this is not tangential, this is actually super relevant. She doesn't pretend to do it all. She has like a lot of help and she's very open about it. And she's like, yeah, I work a lot and I have awesome help and I have an awesome, you know, babysitter and help with the home. And I learned so much from her as far as, again, like valuing yourself and valuing your pleasure. She enjoys math. She enjoys her children. She enjoys her family. And when she doesn't enjoy, she outsources as much as possible. And as far as I can see, doesn't feel guilty about it. And I think that's awesome. And the women that I admire most and I try to model myself after as much as possible all have that in common. Oh, low battery. That's okay. Recognizing what you need to enjoy your life the best as possible and getting it unapologetically and don't feel bad. And like, just like, yeah, like if you can outsource things, like do it. That's awesome. And do the things that you really want to do, like make ice cream with your kids or eat it by yourself, you know, like whatever makes you happy. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I'm going to post it with the recipe, and within the next few minutes, I will try and also post some links from Amazon of, if you don't have a Trader Joe's near you or it's kind of annoying, a good coconut milk or coconut cream really is the best one, and a good arrowroot powder, because that's part of the recipe. So enjoy, l'chaim, live your life, enjoy it, and I love you all. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.